Hello students, welcome back to your English class. The topic that we are going to address today is a grammar topic. Now it's not a grammar topic that you need to learn for knowing your grammar. It's a topic that needs to be learned for correcting your grammar. Now the topic's name is Concord or subject-verb agreement. So when I taught you pronouns or adjectives, that time also I tell you that focus on the definition or the word that is used to define what you are going to learn. So the word says subject-verb agreement. Very simply put, that the subject in your sentence, the doer, needs to agree with the verb, that is the activity in your sentence. How do they agree? What do you do to make them agree? Let's understand that. Now in a sentence, the subject and the verb have to agree in numbers. Okay? So if there is a singular subject, the doer of the action is 1 in number, then the verb also has to be singular. If the doer of the work is plural in number, then the verb will also be plural. That is very simply put subject-verb agreement. So this is the definition of it, but what you need to learn here is that there are few rules that you need to follow. Now take a look at this. The cat ate some cheese. Now what's the subject? The cat. My sister and I love to dance. What's the subject? My sister and I. So take a look at both the sentences. The first one has a singular subject. The second one has a plural subject because and joins sister and I, making it 2. Okay? So there are some rules that we will learn. So very simply, first let's understand the S rule, the rule that I taught you in the class. Now S rule is very simple, and what does it state? It states that when a verb is used with S, that means it's used with a singular subject. For example, she dances, he dances. So when you have a singular subject, you use S with the verb. When you have a plural subject which ends with S, you do not use S in your verb. So this is the S rule. So what's the S rule? When your plural subject already has an S in it, you do not use S with the verb. And when your singular subject does not end with S, you use S in the verb. But there are 2 exceptions to this S rule, which is I and you. I am singular, but I dance. I don't dances. Okay? So S rule is very simple to remember. This is the first rule that you need to know when you are learning subject-verb agreement. So what have we covered so far? We've covered what subject-verb agreement is. It is that the subject, the doer in your sentence needs to agree with your verb. They need to be in coordination in terms of number. According to that, there are a few rules that we follow. So the first rule we discussed is the S rule. So with the plural subject that ends with S, the verb will not have S in it. With a singular subject that does not end with S, the verb will have S in it. But there are 2 exceptions, as I told you, I and you. Okay? Now, how to answer these questions correctly? Figure out what the subject is. So the first thing that you need to do is find out the subject. Then you find out if the subject is 1 or more. Okay? After that, you find out what is the verb. And then you make sure it is the same number as the subject. That means singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb. It's as simple as that. Now, we've already understood the S rule. We've also learned that when you use and join 2 subjects or 2 people who are working together, it becomes plural. So for example, take the sentence, the Gita and the Ramayana. So 2 different things, Gita and the Ramayana joined by and become plural, are holy books. Okay? On the other hand, take a look at the second sentence. The second sentence, slow and steady. What should it be? It is and. Does it become plural? No. There's a rule to the end and use also when you use it for the same idea. Slow and steady is the same idea. So if two nouns denote same person, same thing or same idea, the article will be used before the first noun and the verb is going to be singular. So slow and steady wins the race. Rajma and rice is my favorite dish. The author and poet is dead. So the same person is author and the poet also. Okay. So these are two uses of and. So what's the first one? When there are two different ideas or two different people joined by and, they become plural. When there are the same person or the same idea joined by and, for example, I am a teacher and a mother. So I am a singular but I have two things in me. So then you will use what? A singular verb. Let's move on to the next rule. The following indefinite pronouns take singular verbs. Either, neither, each, one, nothing, no one. So whenever you use them, you will use a singular verb. Either of you will go out tonight. So only one. Neither of you. That means no one. So take a look at this. You can pause the video and take a look at all of them. Then there's a list of indefinite pronouns that take plural verbs. For example, both. Both means two. Several means many. Few means a number. Okay. So for these indefinite pronouns, both of you are grounded. Okay. So that means the two of you are grounded. Okay. There are also some indefinite pronouns that take singular or plural verb depending on the subject. So you can also change according to the subject being countable or uncountable. If the subject is uncountable, singular verb will be used. If the subject is countable, plural verb will be used. Take a look at the examples. Either of these girls is suited to the job, not are, because only one of them. One of these books belongs to me. So any one. So singular. Okay. Next rule. Now the next rule states, when two subjects are joined by either or, neither nor, not only but also. Now these conjunctions, when you do conjunctions, you'll learn that excuse me, these conjunctions always come in a pair. So not only will always come with but also. You cannot just use not only and leave the sentence incomplete. So these four, either or, neither nor, not only but also, and not but. These verbs must agree with the latter subject. So if there would always be two subjects in these kind of sentences. Either he or her. Okay. Neither me nor him. So there will always be two subjects. The verb will agree with the latter subject. Say the latter subject is plural, then you will use a plural verb. If the latter subject is singular, you will use the singular verb. You will forget about the first one. First subject is to be forgotten. You will use what works best with the latter subject. Okay. The dog or the cat has drank the milk. Okay. Let's move on to the next rule. Some nouns which are plural in form but singular in meaning take a singular verb. Now what are such nouns which are plural in form? For example, mathematics. So mathematics, though has an S in it and indicates the plural form, but plural form of what? Math. So plural form but takes a singular verb. Mathematics is my favorite subject. The news is flashing on television. Same goes for economics, physics, wages, measles, innings. It was a great innings. Okay. And the names. The names of any book, any movie that may be plural but will take a singular verb. For example, the Arabian Nights is my favorite book. Okay. When a plural noun form donates some specific quantity or amount considered as whole, it takes a singular verb. Noun singular in form but plural in meaning take a plural verb. For example, A pair of scissors is treated as singular. A pair of denim is also treated as singular. Pair of spectacles. Okay. Give me a pair of spectacles. Give me a pair of gloves. Because you used a pair of. They always come in pair. Therefore, you use a pair of. You should take a look at this. Mathematics is, as I already gave you an example. Now, take a look at third sentence. My scissors are sharp. Because I did not use a pair of scissors, I just used the word scissors. Then it becomes plural and takes a plural verb. Okay. Rule number 9. A collective noun takes a singular verb when the collection is thought of as a whole. I already mentioned that initially. Now, collective nouns we all know take a collection as a whole. For example, team, army, bunch, crowd, bouquet, herd, flock, mob. All collective nouns are taken as a whole. Okay, even though they are a group, but there's one word given to them and they are considered as one entity. So you will use what? A singular verb with it. I got a bouquet of flowers. Okay. Take a look at this. The jury have different opinions. So jury as a whole have different opinions. The jury has 5 members. So this has become a countable noun now. So you use what? Has. When adjectives like much more, little less are used as noun, they take singular verbs. When the number of is used with a subject, singular verb is used. When a number of is used with a subject, the first was the number of and the second is a number of. I did a number of chores today, so that would be with a plural verb. Okay. For the next rule, a lot of, a plenty of, a great deal of, when they refer to amount, a singular verb is used. But remember, a pair of, a lot of, whenever you have words like a in the beginning of a group of words, it will have a singular verb. Okay. A lot of people were working there in the meeting. A lot of work has been finished. Now when it comes to fractions, with words indicating parts of fractions, percentage fraction, then you are going to use what? You are going to use a singular verb. 1/4 of a cake is missing. 3/4 of a cake is missing. With fractions come singular verbs. Who, that, which. Whenever these pronouns act as a subject of the verb and that also in the middle of the sentence, then verb agrees to the noun or pronoun coming immediately before who. Albert is the scientist who loves to read books. So you are going to associate it with Albert. Okay. That would be the end of the rules for today. I hope you all understood subject-verb agreement thoroughly. Don't you worry. I had to complete all the rules. Even if you did not follow all of them, it's alright. I'm giving you a written notes. You can refer to them and we will discuss them in the class. Thank you.